Hello, listeners. So, can you believe it? We are already more than halfway through April. Are you still sticking to your resolution to move more, take care of yourself more, go to the gym? In my efforts to move more and make it to the gym, I found that I keep going back not because of the workouts, because sometimes, let's be honest, they're horrible. I go to the gym because I found a gym that has a great community. I'm a member of Metabolic, which is a strength training gym on H Street Northeast here in DC. And there is still time to cheat on your gym. Through the end of April, you still have time to show proof of an active gym membership, and you'll receive a free 4 weeks to try the Metabolic program. That includes unlimited classes. So maybe it's time to try a different gym, have a different experience, and see if you can actually move more, be healthier, and build that new you. Sign up for a class through the link in the show notes and tell them that you heard about the special on the This May Be a Bad Idea podcast. So, what have you got to lose? It's definitely worth a try. Metabolic on H Street Northeast. All right, now back to our show. Welcome to today's episode of This May Be a Bad Idea. This podcast is a conversation on bravery. It tells the story of everyday people who have faced what felt like the impossible and still bravely leap into the unknown. I'm your host, Nicole Butts, and I am thrilled to introduce my guest for today, Gwen Andersen. So, Gwen, following an illustrious career in international development with senior leadership experience at both the U.S. Agency for International Development and Power Africa, as well as with nonprofits. Post-USAID, Gwen has co-founded the A Energy Company. This is founded with the belief that with reliable electricity in Africa, anything becomes possible. So Gwen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So excited to have you on today. Can you tell me a bit more about who is Gwen Andersen and what drove you to buy into the belief that with reliable electricity, everything becomes possible? I mean, it has led you to a remarkable career. So just tell us more.
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me. One, I'm a gadget queen. I've always been a gadget queen, so I'm into devices. Two, early in my career, I met a man, Neville Williams, who ran the Solar Electric Light Fund, and he was, decades ago, bringing small solar home systems to women in rural Africa. And once they had these small, very small solar electric systems with just a little bit of electricity, they were able to see at night without having to have candles. And candles and other flames sometimes fall over and burn houses down. So this was dramatic right there, just to have light. Then to have radio meant that they could be connected to the outside world. The light allowed them to make things that they could then sell, and then they could raise income. It meant that the children could study at home. It changed lives. There were all these beautiful examples of things that just a little bit of electricity did with family planning, with income. But the most dramatic impact was that it told their daughters that change was possible. Their daughters had been watching their moms live the exact same lives that their grandmothers had lived, that their great-grandmothers had lived, that their great-great-grandmothers had lived. And you would understand why they thought this was the life they were going to live. And that there wasn't really a point in changing it, in shaking it up. Was there a point in going to school? Not really. Was there a point in continuing to school instead of going off and and doing something else that would bring in money or getting married early? No. But with electricity, not only did you make concrete things different, but you changed the idea of what was possible. You combine that with me being a gadget queen, I'm in love.
That is such an incredible story, Gwen. I mean, growing up in the US, it is a foregone conclusion that you will grow up with electricity of some sort, right? And in almost every community. And it's something that we take for granted so much, and the convenience and the quality of life it brings. But the story to say that not only did it change their day to day, but it changed their outlook on the future and what they felt their prospects were in life, that is so incredibly powerful. There are very, very few things that can make that dramatic of a change in someone's life, like instantaneously, with something as simple as solar panels, which we've had for forever, right? So this is such a powerful and incredible idea. I completely understand how it's easy to buy into it. It's easy to, I think it's, easy to invest in it if you have that to invest. For any investors that are listening, easy to invest in bringing electricity to places. You just need someone like Gwen to help. But I just think that that's such a powerful message. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I asked you to be on this show as a guest, as I'm in awe in how you took your experience, economics at Empower Africa, and you decided to be the co-founder of the A Energy Company. It was, following the abolishment, which is the word I'm using, of USAID. It was bleak if you want to continue in international development and really helping the world's most vulnerable. So you decided to continue doing that, which is just so inspiring. And not only did you do that, decide to continue doing that, you brought along friends. You got friends to be like, you know what? I believe also that with electricity, anything is possible. And I believe in you, Gwen, and your co-founder. And I want to go along on this adventure, on this wild ride. So tell me more, just tell me more about your team and how you established it. I am very happy to share that you all have your first award, which is huge news as an entrepreneur to know that you are going to be working and that you can make a difference and that your team that believes in you, it will see some benefit now, right? It may be small benefit, but it's there. It is happening. So tell me more about that journey.
We were all on admin leave. My friend Armando Abacar, who is a Mozambican in Mozambique, in the USAID speak, that meant he was a Foreign Service national, wrote to me with an RFP that was to do a study on the supply chain of renewable energy in Mozambique, with the goal of identifying places where women entrepreneurs could get into that supply chain and start making money. And he said, can we bid on this? And I said, you find me a gender expert, we can bid on this. He found me a gender expert. We put together a really fantastic proposal. And then we shortlisted that, anybody, we had nothing else to do. We're on admin leave. We're being paid to sit there and worry. And instead we went ahead and wrote a proposal. And then we shortlisted, and it was such a good experience that he then asked, would you like to start a company? Well, this is relevant. It's pretty clear that things are going to be very bad locally, that all of the local jobs are gone, and they're going to stay gone for a while. Many of the jobs in renewable energy are on hold because the renewable energy industry didn't know what was going to happen, and it turned out that they were right to be cautious. So starting one's own business did not seem as risky at that point as one might otherwise think. And it had been a great process. And so my answer was yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now tell me about your all-star team. You have your co-founder, you all were like, let's do it. Let's dive into the deep end. But you had to get a team to follow you. So tell me more about that.
We started gathering fabulous people. We recognized that the mining community in Africa has needs. They need access to reliable electricity, and they have the money to pay for it, which made them a perfect client. So we contacted Nicholas Cipineri, who was USAID mining in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and made him a fabulous offer. No salary, no benefits. Want to join us? And at a minimum, we knew that this would fill a hole in people's resumes, but we were hoping that this would actually succeed. We reached out to a friend of mine, Laura Slattery, and I had worked with her forever and gave her the same offer. No salary, no benefits, want to join us? And she said yes. I ran into Stacy Pravello, who at a USAID picnic, and she immediately began explaining to me all the work that she had done to help 251 companies to get ethical and environmental certifications so that they could export their goods. That sounded like something that companies could pay for, like something that we could effectively sell. And then I started reaching out to transaction advisors in Power Africa and attorneys and economists who had been working to improve legislation and regulation, and laid it out very clearly. This is how I think we can make money. This is where we are now. It's all going after work in hopes that we will win it, and then that we can all eat. So everybody understood that it wasn't immediate money, that this is a hope and a prayer. But there was enough excitement and promise in the business vision that we had. There was another element to it too. Each one of these people had been stomped on. Each one of these people had been called criminals. And I'm calling them saying, what you did was important. What you did brought value to the world, made the world a better place. You are valuable, and I want you. And that was a major part of people saying yes to me.
You know, when everything went down, there was a feeling of hopelessness. There was a feeling of, did what I did not matter? Like, does it not matter to the American people? Does it not matter to the world? And a lot of internal doubt about things that we invested entire careers doing. I know that finding purpose and finding a way to continue to help people in need and to have someone who values your expertise and values your years of experience and your willingness to put yourself in harm's way to help others, that is what is keeping the USAID memory alive. That is what is really helping people understand that things may get better, right? That what we did was of value and that we did, in fact, help others. And, you know, reminded even sometimes on the street, I carry my handy dandy trusty USAID bag. And there's been so many times where just random strangers have walked up to me and been like, oh, thank you so much. You worked at USAID. I want you to know that the work that you did mattered. And we're really sad that you no longer are around. So yes, my message to all of our fellow USAID alum, we all matter. What we did mattered. So Gwen is taking all of our joy and all the things that we used to do that gave us purpose and really drove us again to do the hardest things and gave people purpose, gave people opportunity, right? Something to look forward to. And honestly, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes getting out of bed, if you don't have anything to look forward to that day, it's really, really hard. So thank you for bringing so many amazing people along for this ride, Gwen. You are changing lives in more ways than one, I'm sure. And then when you guys are wildly successful, everyone's going to be like, why didn't we do this sooner? Who knew? Who knew? Next question for you is, in this new journey that you are on, what's the hardest thing that you've had to let go of? What about yourself, about your expectations to make all of this work? And I see you smiling. So have you given this question some thoughts?
I've given this question some thought. I love control. I love the illusion of control. And we're doing so many things that I can't possibly do all of them. And so this is me letting go of control and handing off pieces of the business to develop to the people on the team. So I have somebody who is doing the work to pull together investment opportunities to sell to investment banks, and she's running with it. I have somebody else who is in charge of the work to sell. We put together an enabling environment team to help countries to improve the legislation and regulation so that they can attract the private sector while protecting their citizens. We've got a number of lines of business, and since I cannot do everything that I have in vision, just taking those lines and handing them to these extremely capable people has been beautiful.
And hard.
And hard, because I like to retain it all myself, and I can't. The only good thing about it is I don't have to.
And that you have this amazing team that you trust and are extremely capable is a word that you've used multiple times, that you can hand it off to. People who know me may think I am a bit of a control freak as well. And sometimes it is hard, like especially if something is what you consider your pet project, your baby that you've birthed. This is what I'm starting. This is my next step. And then being able to say, and that is the hard thing, because you're like, no, I could totally do all this. And it's a struggle bus that I'm on daily. And Gwen, I'm so happy to know I'm not alone. Because if you talk to my family, they will be like, Nicole will fit 25 hours worth of things into 24 hours in a day. It's not good. It's good to have that trusted team.
You can get more things done if you give some of the things to other marvelous, capable people.
And they'll get it done better. You'll be like, and have a completely different perspective and how they did it. And you're like, I would have never done it like that, but it worked way better than it would have if you would have done it my way.
And realizing they know how to do that better than you know how to do that, better than you can figure out how to do that. You should let them do that.
Yes. It's actually usually a bit safer when I only know enough to be dangerous and don't feel like I have any level of expertise in it. And then I'm like, oh, well, I don't even know what I'm doing. So you go ahead. You go be great. Go be great. Otherwise, I'm like, do you want to hear my ideas? And I'm like, you don't have to, but I have some. And then people are like, well, if you have them, let's hear them. Anyway, I didn't say they were all good ideas, folks. Did not say they were all good ideas, but always have them. Okay. So you started this company, and this is something that you've alluded to previously. At a time when international development, it is in turmoil, right? And the renewable energy sector also in a lot of turmoil. And it looks like, we don't know how long this is going to last. So with the significant pullbacks, most people would have seen this as a sign to wait. You've already mentioned that you did not see it as a sign to wait, that it made a lot of sense for you to move forward in this manner. What drove you to that decision? And do you still continue to think this is the thing that makes sense for me right now that you're, 6 months in? Does it still feel like it's the thing that you are driven to do? So what keeps you doing this as opposed to, Gwen, you are one of the most capable people I've ever met. So what has you continuing to do this and not trying to do something else, maybe outside of international development and renewable energy?
I see tremendous potential. We have such exceptional ideas that we are pursuing, and they won't all work. And that's why it's good to have different exceptional ideas, right? If we've got 7 different lines that we're pursuing and 3 of them work out, that's fantastic. So I see tremendous potential. 2, I want us all to eat. I want everybody on the team to eat. I want everybody on the team to have health insurance. I want everybody on the team to be safe. And I think that this business is going to help people to make money, feed their families, buy health insurance, move forward. I think that I've already seen that this is giving people a sense of joy and purpose. And I want to continue to help people eat and emotionally. So 1, we've got great potential. 2, I want to help the people who are on the team. 3, this is the best option. I was speaking with somebody and he was blown away. I showed him all my amazing team on my website and had him looking at it, and he could not believe it. He was astounded at all the people that I had. And he was astounded at all these people. And he said, all these people are willing to give up jobs to work for you. And I said, no, there is no opportunity cost. Things are so difficult right now. They are not giving up jobs to work with me. This is the best option they have. And that was shocking to him because he's not in the world of international development. He didn't know that that's what we are going through. And it's very hurtful that this is in a place that we are all in such a place of difficulty that giving away our labor for free is the best and most rational choice for us to be making. And yet, so 1, I think this business has tremendous potential. 2, I want to help everybody on the team to eat and to get ahead and to survive this. And if we can thrive, even better. And 3, it's the best of the options available to us at this moment.
So I think one thing that you touched on there about the best available option in the moment in the international development world, I 100% agree. What is driving you to want to continue to work in international development? What is driving you to continue to push forward that dream of providing electricity to that group of women in Africa?
Everybody goes into development because we want to make the world a better place. And this allows us to continue to make the world a better place. We believed in what we were doing before. We believed in bringing more electricity to more people in Africa. We all know that just a tiny little bit of electricity can make dramatic differences in lives. It makes so many things possible. With electricity, you can improve healthcare. With electricity, you can improve education. With electricity, people can make money, and they can make money either because they are selling things or because they have jobs or because they are taking what they were already producing, like agriculture, and they are processing it. And now they are able to sell it to a wider market and get more money for it. Now they have money that they can send their kids to school. Now they have enough money that they can get health care when something goes wrong. Now they have enough money that they can help other people in their family, or they can feel a little more comfortable that the next time there's a famine, that they will be able to survive that famine without descending deep into poverty. So a little bit of electricity makes an enormous difference, and everybody on the team believes that. Everybody on the team has seen the radical difference, and to be able to continue to make those benefits happen, to work for that mission, to make lives better in such a beautiful, tangible, sustainable way is incredibly motivating. It's why we got into this field in the first place. It's why we are delighted to be staying here now.
And that is the thing, right? That is the thing that so many people do not have the joy of experiencing in their lifetime, right? Is the joy in helping others and the joy in making a difference to people who do not expect it. And the smallest thing really changes lives. Once you start doing that, it is really, really hard to stop, as you have just attested to. Once you know what a difference you can make in the world, it is very, very hard to stop. And I think everyone is in different places and have found different career options and are trying different things. And I applaud us all because all of our journeys are different. I've mentioned, and I think at least 2 of the other podcast sessions that, once you're in international development or once you're a humanitarian, you always are. Like, it never leaves you. That desire to help others, it's something that stays with you. How you exercise it, how it shows up in your day-to-day activities may look different, but it is something that 100% just stays with you. So I encourage everyone, go out, have unicorn energy, help someone, see what it feels like. Someone that is unexpected. Just see what happens. See what happens. So everything that you've mentioned seems like you are very, very sure of what you're doing, that this is the right thing for you. And this is the right thing for the people who, again, my daughter's school, they say you are not a passenger, you are crew. So all the people who are crew on this journey with you. Was there a moment in time where you stopped, maybe panicked a little bit and said, maybe this is a bad idea? This may just be a bad idea.
There was a moment. We were bidding on a proposal where I wanted everybody on the team to be in the proposal. This meant everybody on the team had to send me a lot more information than they had sent before. This was not just give me your resume. This was give me your resume, give me your passport, give me tax identification information. It was gnarly, the level of detail that I needed. And I had not done a great job of communicating. I thought that because I had been so clever, I figured out an everyone email, and I could put everybody in the company on the everyone email. And that by sending an everyone email, that everyone would realize I meant them. And there were a few people who didn't send me their information, and I really wanted it. So I started reaching out to them individually. And one of them said, I didn't know you meant me. So one of my next emails was to everyone, and it said, unless your name is this person or that person, I want you. And then started sending individual emails to each person. I need this. I need it by this time. But before those emails, when I'm just wondering why, with this fabulous opportunity that we're busting our butts to put together, I only have X number of people's information, and I saw this as a glorious opportunity for everybody, and everybody wasn't contributing. That was a moment where I thought, why am I doing this? What? So, lesson, do not try to be efficient to everyone. Write to each person individually.
No. You can be efficient and send to everyone, but you just have to be very explicit with your instructions. And Gwen, you already know this. You already know people need explicit instructions, no matter how many degrees folks have, no matter like how long they've been doing this. It just helps, because otherwise they have questions and they're like, well, you're asking me for all this super like PII information. You must not, or why are you asking me for this? Like, she must be talking to somebody else. In USA world, where everybody looked at the requirements of this RFP, and we're all like, that's PII, which means personally identifying information for the listeners. And you do not share that. No, you don't. Not today or yesterday even. Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. But yes, we have to be explicit, and it's remembering those little things that sometimes you're like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, I know I need to do this, but am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing for me to be doing? So I Gwen, again, not for the first time, I feel like we are very much kindred spirits. So next question is, when you imagine Africa with reliable energy and reliable electricity, what does that world look like for one specific person that you've met along the way?
I had the privilege of meeting an exceptional woman named Agnes, who runs the Precious Life Foundation in Zimbabwe. At some point, a policy decision had been made that absolutely destroyed the economy. The economy was so bad that pregnant women began abandoning their babies. They could not feed them, so they would go into the city, they would birth their babies, and they would leave them. And she and her husband, who put up with this, started gathering babies and created an orphanage and created a school, and then created a school not just for the babies, but for the mothers, so that they could learn skills, so that they could get jobs, so that they could feed the babies and did not need to abandon the babies. And this woman became a multiplier because she was, in addition to teaching skills for jobs, she was teaching skills for agriculture. So it meant that she wasn't just helping 5 women. She was helping 5 women who would then return to their communities and share with their communities what they knew. And that multiplier effect meant that this one individual was making massive differences. And so her getting electricity meant that not only was her household getting all the benefits of electricity, but all of these children, and then all of these mothers, and then all of these families, and then all of these communities could learn about electricity and what could be done with electricity, how you could increase production value with electricity, how you could use electricity to have light instead of having to see by candles. By the way, seeing by candles not only sets your house on fire, but it also is really bad for your eyes and it's really bad for your lungs. She, as part of this school, taught them how to cook with biogas. She is one of the most extraordinary people I will ever meet. And so her having access to electricity, her having access to other renewable energy meant that she could make a transformational impact on everyone around her, not just her community, the nearby communities, for truly the poorest and most desperate of the poor.
That is an incredible story. And what you mentioned with the multiplier, the ability to multiply your impact on others, that's beyond words. And listening to her story, I'm like, this woman deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. And you know what? She is incredible, but she is not completely unique in what she is doing for her community. And these are the stories of people that are so untold, of the greatness of what you can do with an open heart and a willingness to make change is just, it is astounding. It really is astounding. That story just gave me shivers, Gwen. It gave me absolute shivers. I wish I could meet this woman. She is the definition of bravery. If you talk to her and tell her that what she's doing is brave and courageous, she's probably like, no, it's not. It's just what I'm just doing to help my community. It's common sense. So that's powerful. Now time for the next question. And that is, we've talked a lot about why I think you are an amazing human. And I'm so happy to know you. And I believe you're incredibly brave and courageous. Now it is your turn to tell me what you think your bravest moment has been.
I think the bravest thing I've ever done was go away for college. Because the bravest thing you've ever done is not the dramatic story. And it's not the thing that you did without thinking. And it's definitely not the thing you did without fear. The bravest thing you've ever done has to have fear, or it's not brave. I grew up very poor, and there was a college that I wanted to go to. We did not have enough money to go and see it first. So I'm going to a school I've never seen. I'm going to an area of the country I have never seen. I don't know what these people at this school are going to be like. It's hard to imagine how young and innocent and naive I was at the time, and thus how terrifying this was for, a 17-year-old from rural Missouri to think about going to the big, scary East Coast where, whatever idea you have about what the people are like and the vision that you have of what things look like and how people will treat you and how it's going to go. It was terrifying. And the amount of debt that I was signing up for seemed astronomical, unbelievable, not the kind of money that you could ever hope to pay back. And so all of it was, I think, of everything I have done, including the things that are much better, much more exciting stories, that was the bravest thing that I have ever done, was to pick up from rural Missouri and go to a part of the country I had never been to a school I had not gotten to visit, and just hope that it was all going to be okay.
And it was all okay, right?
And it was stressful, and it was all okay.
And that's why I do this podcast. That is why I am obsessed with bravery and courage. It's because from the outside looking in, things just appear to be so hard and just so incredibly like challenging. And how did you get through this, as we, discussed for most of the podcast? But often bravery demonstrates itself in the everyday. And I think people think they aren't brave, but everyone is brave. Everyone has fear, and everyone pushes through fear to get to the other side. And that is what really changes us. Even if it doesn't all work out, even if you would have gotten there and you would have been like, nope, this is not for me. I'm going back to rural Missouri.
These people are horrible. They're mean to me. I'm not smart enough. How do I hack it?
So much self-doubt. And if you would have given into the self-doubt and gone home, that does not erase the brave steps that you took to get there in the first place. It does not erase how great you were and how fearful you were and how you believed in yourself in that moment to push through that barrier and get to school. And that is the thing that it brings me so much joy. It brings just hearing how we push through the everyday things. And just, I mean, thought I was incredibly brave the first time I dropped my daughter off at school. I was like, or even like the first time you leave them, drop them off at daycare or the nanny or whatever you have, like it seems impossible. You're like, I'm giving my child to someone else to take care of. What if they don't do it? And it's about, trusting in yourself and your decisions. And
oh, no. They need, this is 2025. They need to have video cameras in every classroom of that country. So you can just spend the day staring.
There are a lot of pictures. There are a lot of pictures and evidence of what's happening. True. Very true. But yeah, so that is, I think, the epitome of bravery. So thank you for sharing that with us today, Gwen. So I left Nebraska and went to New Orleans. You left Missouri and went to the East Coast. So yeah, we both chose to go further away from home than maybe we'd been before. So.
And I bet our first time if we really remember what we felt like at that moment, ask yourself, how does it get better if you don't?
That is genius. And it's such a straightforward, short and simple question. I feel like this is a potential poster somewhere. Can we make this into a poster? How do things get better if you don't? Because again, we only grow when we're uncomfortable. That's when change happens.
And if you don't do anything different, you shouldn't expect anything to change.
Isn't that the definition of insanity? Just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. Again, shivers. I am here for all of that. I think I am definitely gonna put that on something, maybe a sweatshirt. And it will say Gwen A or GA. We'll figure out a cool nickname for you to give you credit for the quote. Okay. Excellent.
I trust your creativity. You come up with something bad.
It's gonna be fun. Anywho, again, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I really appreciate your insight and the powerful message that you bring, your belief in providing electricity and energy to Africa, your continuance of engaging and knowing that what you are doing is the right thing to help others, help your community, help the world. So again, thank you for being transparent, for being vulnerable, for willing to be here. I really do appreciate it. So that's all we have for you all today. Thank you for listening to another episode of This May Be a Bad Idea. Please do remember to subscribe,
drop a review, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your frenemies. We hope that you will listen to the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.